Hey lambs, welcome to your Florida Man Friday episode. Today I have 2 cases for you, and we're going to get right on in there. Before we begin, if you're new here, my name is Kai, and this is Love and Murder, the Florida Man Friday edition. Also, I want to remind you that this episode and all my episodes are sponsored by my lambs in Patreon, patreon.com/love and murder. I actually just put a little snippet in there about the craziness that was my day, which is why I didn't get Florida Man out when it's supposed to. So if you want to hear what happened with my day, and trust me, it was crazy, you can go ahead and go over to patreon.com/love and murder and become a subscriber. So let's get into this Florida Man Friday. On March 13th, 2018, a man whose home was being burglarized received an alert on his phone from his security system telling him that motion was being detected in his house. So he looked at the cameras, trying to see what's going on, but a towel was placed over the camera, which he knew he didn't do it. So to him, that meant something was happening, and he called 911 immediately. Police from the Volusia County Sheriff's Office went out, and when they arrived at his house, they saw a red SUV trying to back out the driveway and run. So they stopped him, and they got 2 suspects who were in the SUV, a 36-year-old Derek Ervin and a 28-year-old John Silva. When police questioned them, they were like, "Oh, no. This is our boy's house. We were just here picking up clothes, and that's it. We were just here picking up clothes. So yeah, our boy lives here." So then police looked in the back and was like, "Oh, you were just here picking up clothes, huh? So why is there an AC in the back, a flat screen TV, a vacuum, a heater, an empty jar of Ragu sauce, and a weed grinder?" Okay, now if somebody could school me really quickly, please. What in the crap is a weed grinder? Or as it says here, a marijuana grinder? What is that? I have really no clue what that is. I've never heard of that before. So if somebody could tell me in the comments below, that'd be greatly appreciated. I can look it up on Google, but I won't because I would love to hear it from y'all. All right, so they found all of this stuff in this red SUV with these 2 people trying to say this was their boy's house and they were just picking up clothes. There wasn't a scrap of clothes in the car. But they found all these expensive appliances, though. And what was with the Ragu sauce? Did y'all eat spaghetti while you were driving here? So when police went into the house, they found a pot of Ragu sauce and a washcloth near the stove's burner. Basically, what these 2 geniuses were trying to do was burn the house down and make it look like the homeowner was boiling a pot of spaghetti sauce and then just, forgot it and the house burned down. That's what they were trying to do. That was their brilliant plan. Quote, "He was trying to make it look like I left the stove on, but who gets up at 2 a.m. to fix sketty?" That's a quote. He said sketty. Who gets up at 2 a.m. and fixes sketty? So when they once again went over to Derek and John, they said, you want to try that again? And so they said, well, we knew of this man based on past sexual history. Yeah, that's it. We had past sexual history with him. So, they told one lie and police didn't believe that. So they actually contacted the victim and found out, do you know these people based on, I don't know, it doesn't have to be sexual, but just a past relationship? And the victim said, quote, "It started out as a relationship that lasted about a week. I've let him use my car for 4 months. Maybe he's angry about that. Or maybe he's angry because I gave him $150 to fix his teeth." So this person was helping this other person out, and you let him use your car for 4 months. And he was like, "Screw that. Let's put some Ragu on the stove and burn his house down." Really? What an ungrateful douchebag. And then you rob him of all expensive, well, I don't know if it's all, but you rob him of expensive electronics that's in his house. Really? Ungrateful. So the cops thought they were ungrateful too and arrested both of them and charged them with, quote, unarmed burglary, grand theft, and arson. They were charged with arson without it actually even burning down the house. So that's all, because I guess it was a really small case. That's all it had to say. It didn't say, went before a grand jury, which I highly doubt it did. And I don't know how much they got in jail, but yeah, they were trying to burn down his house with Ragu. Can you imagine that? The brilliance, masterminds. The next case I have for you is, okay. So we had a brilliant mastermind in one case, and in this case, we have a conniving, quote, brilliant mastermind, an asshole of the epic proportions. The Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill has been accused of financially exploiting a 96-year-old woman, and this has been going on since March 15th of 2021. Now, the allegation started when an agent of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement interviewed Regina's former aide. Now, her former aide said, look, I go to the school of Kai and I sing like a bird. So I'm going to tell you everything, even the questions that you didn't ask, I'll answer that anyway. So the aide said, former aide said, look, let me tell you this. You didn't hear it from me, but Commissioner Regina had bought a house on August 19th, 2022 in Orlando. And you may want to look into that house because it's not on the up and up. So, of course, they went in to investigate this purchase, and they found that the power of attorney form that was used to buy the house was a fraud because it was that aide. Remember that aide that sang like a bird? That aide's name was on the documents. So it wasn't even Regina who signed it. And the second thing is that the dates didn't match to when they were supposed to match up. Then they noticed that on the home, they're listed a, quote, co-purchaser, which was that 96-year-old woman's name. And speaking of this 96-year-old woman, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement agent learned that she never even asked Regina or gave Regina permission to use her personal information to buy the house. And then, through the more investigation, as of March 7th, which was the day they filed the affidavit to go through all of this investigation and get all the paperwork and everything like that, the home was abandoned and without electricity or running water. So nobody was living there and nobody was trying to live there. So the city of Orlando basically is going about suing Regina Hill. And so when an attorney of the city of Orlando interviewed Regina about her relationship with a 96-year-old woman, she said she met her when city code personnel connected them. She said she helped the woman get improved living condition, a live-in caretaker, and just ultimately better medical care. She also acknowledged that, I recently bought a house and this woman co-signed it for me. But, it's something that she wanted to do. I didn't ask her. She was doing it out of the goodness of her heart because of the fact that I helped her get a live-in caretaker. I helped her get medical care and I helped her get better living conditions. So she said, you know what? I am going to buy you a house. I'm going to co-sign for you a house because you helped me. Yeah. Now, during the investigation, they found out something else. They found out that the 96-year-old woman actually had another house that she inherited after her mother died in 1988. And with the financial records, it showed that Regina paid for, quote, extensive renovations on that house, and then she moved into that house. So when the special agent questioned the 96-year-old woman about both of the houses, she said she would have never, ever agreed to allow Regina to use money from her bank account or be her power of attorney. Because who the hell is this woman? She's just my state representative or whatever. Why would I give you power over me? I don't know you. The woman did tell the agent that she, quote, recalled signing some sort of document but did not understand it. So basically, Regina is performing elder abuse. What a douchebag. And you, ma'am, are supposed to be the Orlando City Commissioner? So a Florida judge granted a temporary protective injunction for the exploitation of a vulnerable adult. And while they were passing it down, the judge said that the injunction against Regina was needed to physically and financially protect the older woman because it was their opinion that, quote, an immediate and present danger of exploitation and a, quote, likelihood of irreparable harm would be committed. The judge also was shown evidence that the financial records that was brought to their attention showed, quote, the dramatic decrease in the vulnerable adult's assets as well as the accumulation of debt in her name ostensibly at Miss Hill's hands. So what they were looking at is that before the 96-year-old woman met Regina, she had over $160,000 in her bank account and had a credit card with a balance of only $650. But by October of 2023, this is after she met Regina now, the woman had less than $60,000 in her bank account and more than $10,000 in credit card debt. This is how much this woman ran up. So $60,000, so she spent $100,000 plus put $10,000 in credit on her credit card debt. So let's see, what was that? She had 650. And don't laugh at me because I know some of y'all could do this in your head. I cannot, and I don't feel bad about it. I'm proud of what I could do and proud of what I can't. So let's see. She had $650 in credit card debt. And by the end of October 2023, she had $10,000 in credit card debt. So that means Regina spent $9,000, like around $9,300, $350, plus the $100,000. What? And this is a 96-year-old woman. What a piece of crap. Wow. So she was arrested and charged with 3 counts of exploitation of elderly, mortgage fraud, scheme to defraud, and 2 counts of fraud impersonation. And she's being held at the Orange County Jail on a $40,000 bond. And when you actually look more into Regina Hill, she has a criminal history that goes back all the way to the 80s. How did she make it as Orlando's commissioner? Wow. When she was 23 years old, she was arrested on a controlled substance charge in Orange County. And then she was also arrested several times for disorderly intoxication. She was arrested for possession of weed and drug paraphernalia. And she was arrested for using a fake name on her driver's license application. I mean, yeah, I thought she was arrested for like armed robbery or something. But still, it's not as bad, obviously, as armed robbery, but that's still something that, I was going to say that's still something that I wouldn't hire you as a city commissioner. But then again, you could have changed your life around. You were young in the 80s, so I guess you could have changed your life around. You give people the benefit of a doubt sometimes, right? So this happened when she was like 23 years old, so she could have changed, but apparently she didn't. At the time of her arrest, she wasn't suspended yet. However, a week ago today, and this is April 12th, however, a week ago, she was suspended. So during her court hearing a week ago, she wouldn't answer any questions and she kept pleading the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. And the judge said, that's okay. We have a bunch of witnesses that'll come and speak. So you can plead whatever 5th, 6th, 8th, 25th you want. Quote, Miss Hill effectively betrayed the trust of her community by taking advantage of a 96-year-old elderly citizen, which is one of the most vulnerable in that community. So Regina had actually filed a motion and requested that the judge toss out the injunction. And her reasoning for that was that she said the 96-year-old woman was in no condition to change her power of attorney. So you got her to change power of attorney to you at 96, but suddenly now she's not in a condition to change it back. Why was it so special that she was in condition to change it to you? She said, well, because I was trying to help the woman. I don't think she needs your kind of help, Mrs. $100,000 in debt you put this woman. So she actually posted a statement on March 29th that says, quote, it's unfortunate that I have been thrust into these circumstances with these allegations. Unfortunately, not just for me, but for the 96-year-old woman whom I've loved and cared for like my own family. Really? With family like that, shoot, I'd be on my own. Nope. After 10 years, she goes on, after 10 years of service for the city of Orlando, I've illustrated my love and compassion for my constituents, my city, and my family. I know the truth. I know I'm entitled to due process in which I trust, and I will await my day in court to prove my innocence. End of quote. So just to be safe, because this case is still ongoing, we'll say everything I said here is alleged. And then I was going to go on to say that they have evidence. They brought receipts. Like, unless somebody else was doing this, which who? Maybe it's your aide. I'm just playing, but I'm just saying, stay with me now. Here's a theory. According to maybe Regina, maybe it's your aide who did it and then tried to pin it on you. I don't know. But the case is still ongoing. And the 96-year-old woman's attorney is planning to introduce business records. As of now, Regina has gotten a new attorney, and that is where we are. I think she was allegedly low down and dirty for that, if she did it. And if she didn't, then I need to know who was setting her up and why. And that is all I have for you for this Florida Man Friday. Next week, one of the cases I'm going to bring to you is about a grown behind woman who was arrested for posing as a 14-year-old girl to try and have sex with teen boys. So let's say it for what it was, to try and molest teen boys. That's what I'm going to bring you for next week's Florida Man Friday, one of the cases. And I can't think of any poll question, but while I'm editing, if I think of one, it'll go on our Spotify and it'll be in our After the Pod group. So you could find the link to that group in the show notes below. Or if you listen on Spotify, you could just look down right above the description. You'll see the poll and you could just go ahead and answer the poll. So in last week's poll, this was for a couple unalives themselves and leaves a baby behind. Literally, that got me that whole weekend. I was so sad. And I actually put out an episode on Monday so we could just start the week off on a good note. I needed to give myself a mental health check. And I figured maybe y'all would like a mental health check. So that's what I did for that Monday. So I'd asked a question for that Florida Man Friday. I said, tell me how you're doing. I know that things can get hard and I want you to remember that it's okay to not be okay. And I mean it. I mean it. It is really, people always think that they need to be perfect. Everything needs to, you need to be a perfect mother. You need to be a perfect wife. You need to be a great business owner. You need to be a great worker. No, we're not perfect. And that is totally okay. So one of the comments I got was from Stacy Marie. Stacy Marie, hi. I agree. Convo around suicide needs to be normalized, including not changing the language and word connected to it. I agree, but I have to sometimes say unalive, especially for SEO purposes or for YouTube, or else they're just going to not suggest my episode either in the podcast world or on YouTube. So I agree. Nothing's wrong with saying suicide, especially when you're talking about it. And you're not making it a stigma. You're making it okay and an open space for people to talk and get help. I completely agree. And Christina Bobo said, woo child, I just finished this week's episode of Florida Man Friday. I tuned in for the laughs and left with tears. I'm sorry. Not all Florida Man Friday are going to be happy and not all of them are going to be sad. So I'm sorry. I just bring to light what needs to be talked about sometimes. And that really needed to be talked about. She goes on to say, I agree that more focus that involves postpartum support before should be given to mothers before and after birth. I think this is why doulas and other birth workers are so important right now. Women cannot pour from empty cups. I also think that fathers deserve support too, because a new baby is stressful for both parents and men often take on stress silently. This can present itself as hostility, depression, or facade of glee. I'm happy little Jay is with family and I pray they do right by him. You got me thinking about the kind of trauma support offered to first responders and medical professionals. Even judges, social workers, lawyers, and anyone who works in jobs where they see a lot of death and violence. We are in an era of mental health awareness. The government should do more to provide and ensure these workers are getting the mental health support they need. Thank you for bringing awareness to this because I honestly hadn't considered it before. Though I often think of you and the weight on your mental as you research and deliver your episodes, I hope that you have the support you need to make balance. I'm just a chat box away. Your suicide message was real and from the heart. I urge anyone battling the big S to get help, please. And if you know someone dealing with suicidal thoughts, please be there for them. Sometimes all someone needs is someone to hear them or laugh with them, maybe even hug them. Be kind to others and yourself and take care of your mental health. Oh, Christina, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I do have my support system, which is my husband. He is amazing. He knows about all my mental health, my whole background, and he's seriously my rock. My only struggle was understanding that I did have that rock and leaning on that rock for support. I'm not 100% there yet because I'm so used to, throughout my life, I'm so used to bottling up everything. So even though I've been with him for years, it still takes, that's why you have to be patient with the people around you with mental health issues. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. So I do open up and I do lean on him, but then sometimes I feel like I don't want to be a burden, and I understand that's what a lot of people with mental health issues go through. We always feel like we're a burden because of certain aspects of our background. And that's not something you could easily turn off. And so I do lean on him, but then when I feel like I'm being a burden, I internalize it. But I'm really working on it. It's still a work in progress. Hopefully before I reach 100, I will have gotten the hang of it. But even if I didn't, as I tell y'all, it is okay to not be okay. I don't have to be perfect all the time. And just knowing that I don't have to be perfect all the time actually takes a lot of stress off of me. So I come out with my podcast. Sometimes I get the shows out late. Sometimes I get it out on time. Sometimes I don't put out a show for that day. And I tell y'all why is because I'm battling with what I did for the week. And I just can't read another episode of somebody murdering somebody for I can't deal with it. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it being like that, and I know my lambs, the ones who really, really got me, y'all understand too. Y'all don't just say, oh, suck it up and put out a show. Y'all understand. And I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, really appreciate y'all for understanding as well. So even y'all are like my mental health support. If I had lambs that were reaching out to me like, where's my episode? I don't care. Or just falling off and not listening to me anymore because they don't care about my mental health. All they want is their episode. If those are the type of lambs that I had, then yeah, my mental health would not be doing really well. But y'all are so amazing and so understanding. I'm really thankful for my lambs. So y'all are really, I'm serious. I'm not even trying to blow smoke up your butt right now. Y'all are really part of my mental health support as well. So I want to thank y'all for that. And Christina, thank you for telling me that your chat box is always open to me. Thank you so much. If I really, really need it, I promise I will definitely use it. And to anybody who is battling depression, battling postpartum depression, whatever, motherhood is hard, life is hard, we got you. Just come on over to the Love and Murder After the Pod Facebook group. You'll see the link down below. This is a safe space. And if you don't want your name be known, then you can just go ahead and message me. We got you. All right. So Christina Bobo left another comment. She said, okay, and let's not forget the lady trapped in the container. I'm side-eyeing the guy's story. People are too suspicious of others to not bat an eye at someone lurking near their unlocked property where they keep their tools and other garden supplies. I'm more inclined to believe the woman, especially if she's an active parent who regularly goes to work, enough so that her coworkers took action. Shady situation. You know what, Christina? I agree. I didn't even think about that how suspicious people are, that he just saw her walking around and he was like, meh, okay, I have a bunch of lawnmowers in there, but whatever. I'm not going to look. Yeah, you're right. I'm giving bombastic side eye to that one as well. And I think it's 2 weeks ago, a Florida Man Friday, the gold forgery and a hitman plot, the case of Alexander Lazinski. I had a comment. Kiki said, you're annoying and it's kite, check kiting, not kit, check kitting. My bad. That's why I reach out to y'all. Check kiting. Obviously, I didn't know what it was, so that's why I asked. And you said I'm annoying. Thank you for your comment. And the feeling's mutual. Your comment was annoying. So I guess we have something in common. I annoy you and you annoy me. Thank you, Kiki. And that is all I have for your comments and your Florida Man Friday. Be sure to check for the poll if I have one. If not, I will have a question on what do you think about this episode. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And like I said, if you want to hear more about what happened with my day, basically I was dealing with mental health and the law. Not me. It wasn't for me. It was somebody else that I was dealing with. then you can go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon so you can hear that behind the scenes, patreon.com/love and murder. If you just want to talk for free and just have a community of lambs, you can go to the After Pod. That link is in the show notes below also. That's all I have for you today, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.